Hello there. Welcome to Frame Perfect Input, a podcast all about gaming where I, Anthony, also known as Misty, talk about games, anything, games opinions, games news. It's all going through me, and I'm just spitting out my thoughts about it. Today, we're talking about Tekken 8 and how it has kind of disappointed me. Let's get going. Welcome to this podcast, a brand new podcast that I thought up for ages, actually. I couldn't think of any name. I couldn't think of exactly what I wanted to do. But yeah, welcome to Frame Perfect Input. Now, it is a gaming podcast, and if you're into games, you probably know fighting games. That's kind of where I got the name from, Frame Perfect Input. Stuff that you do in fighting games. Very magical stuff. Alright, maybe I should restart that? Oh, damn. There's no restarting here. Anyways, welcome to Frame Perfect Input. This is a brand new podcast that I thought of just over time. I've been meaning to do a podcast for a long time, but one, I didn't have a good enough setup for my liking, so I had to go through searching for microphones and all that stuff, switched up to an XLR one from a USB one, so, I've gone through a lot of changes in order to make this happen, and also, there's been so much happening in life, school-wise, that, it's a bit difficult to do, but with all of that hopefully gone, potentially gone, I am now available to do what I wanted to do, which is podcasting. And I like games a lot. In fact, I played games so much that I had a bunch of the stuff I would use to play them confiscated because of how, what's the word? What's the word exactly? Hold on, give me time to think. What is it? Addicted. Why did that take me so long? I was addicted to it. The games was my drug. It was literally my drug. So I had to step away from it. And it did help me, but now we're here again with games and everything. And now I have this game podcast. So yeah, I guess that's how it happens. Anyways, welcome. I've said welcome like 3 times. But truly, if you're listening to this, thank you. Hopefully you stay. Hopefully you like your time here. It's just a chill, kind of kick-back, relax type of podcast where I just talk about my opinions on games that I like or dislike or stuff that's happening. Anything that is game-related is going to be something I talk about on this podcast. And I am kicking back and relaxing right now. In fact, if I'm going back and forth in terms of volume, it's because I'm basically rocking back and forth on my chair. So, that's a thing. So anyways, let's get started. The thing I actually wanted to talk about is something, let's keep it real simple for me. Something I absolutely love. Hold on. Anyways, okay, let's talk about something that's pretty simple for me to talk about because I absolutely love this game series and have loved it for basically the majority of my life, maybe even when I was born, you could say. I would say maybe at 3, when I was 3 years old. This was the game series for me. I absolutely loved it. I would play it so much until recently, with their recent release, just disappointing me with a lot of their choices. A lot of their choices just, it's not really working well with me. So if you... If you're new to, my content, because I do actually have I have a YouTube channel. I've had it for a bit, maybe like 5 years now. Sounds about right. Something like that. And on that, I play video games, but mainly Tekken. It's been my game for a long time. I started in Tekken 3. So I played 3, 4. I played Tag 1, 5, 6, Tag 2 a little bit, kind of, and 7. And then I played 8. I've loved Tekken a lot, clearly. I did miss out 2 and 1, because I wasn't born yet. And I didn't have the game. But, I played basically all of the Tekkens that I could have, that were easy to access. Aside from, like, what was it, Tekken Revolution? Tekken Revolution? Oh my gosh, I think it's Tekken Hybrid. Tekken Hybrid. That one. Yeah. I played basically almost all Tekkens, as much as I could. And I've loved it for my entire life. But Tekken 8 is the final straw, basically, of where I'm just like, man, am I, like, wasting my time here? Because I don't even have... okay. Like, what was it, 3 months ago? Yeah, something like that. I just decided to delete Tekken 8 from my computer. I had it there for ages, of course. I played Season 1. I was, it's fun, but there's some problems. Maybe they'll fix it. But then every decision afterwards was just bad. It was just bad, on top of bad, on top of bad. And I was just like, okay, I don't think I like where this is going. But I'm optimistic. I'm gonna stay. And then Season 2 happens. And if you know Tekken 8 and how Season 2 turned out, Season 2 isn't very good. Extremely controversial, and I'll tell you why. It's because of the fact that they have this thing called Tekken Talks, where they stream themselves talking for maybe an hour, showing what they're gonna do, their plans, DLCs, all that stuff. It's just their way of connecting with the community. Connecting, I guess. But during that, it was like maybe 1 or 2 streams, I think it was 1. They talked about how they were going to push more for defense, because the problem in Tekken 8 is defense doesn't feel rewarding. Like, let me take you back to Tekken 5. In Tekken 5, defense, at least from my perspective, seemed extremely rewarding if you were really good at it, because movement in that game was insane. Everyone was light speed with that. And if you were really good at defense, you could completely dismantle someone just easily, assuming you were good at it. Like Knee, insanely good during that time. Kudan's was also really good. But yeah, defense is something that has been very much a play style in Tekken ever since those times. And then in Tekken 8, we thought it was going to be good because movement sideways looked pretty good. But then they took away the backdash distance if you do a Korean backdash, which is a special input to chain a backdash into another backdash, making it super quick and fluid. But they took away that. It had a little less distance created. It's not that big of an issue, I guess, right? When you look at it, just on paper, it's like, yeah, I mean, you get a bigger sidestep. You lose a bit of your backdash, but the sidestep's bigger. Surely that's good. And we thought so. I thought so. I played. It felt good. But I definitely, over time, I would notice the backdash was really not doing it for me. Because a lot of strings that usually were backdashable were very difficult to get out of now. But that is also due to other decisions, like, I can't think of the string. But if you play Tekken 8, you will know that if you try to backdash constantly out of things... Okay, hold on. Let me go back to Tekken 7, literally the game before it. In Tekken 7, a lot of the strings, a lot of the fake pressure and all that, you can just backdash, you spam the backdash, you'll get out of there eventually. Hwarang is probably one of the most well-known examples of that. If he's just spamming all of this down 3-4 pressure, if you just keep backdashing, you're probably going to get out of there, depending on what they choose, of course. But generally in Tekken 7, a lot of the strings you could just backdash out of, either because they would have some knockback, or it didn't have the range, or there was like this small gap where you could still backdash out, and because of the fact that the backdash was decent, I guess, in Tekken 7, Not as big as, well, Tekken 5, or I think Tag 2 had a pretty big backdash as well. But it was still decent in 7. You still could move around and get away. That was a very, like, meta, I guess you could say, meta style. In Tekken 7, like, competitions, you would see everyone pick an unlimited? Pick, pick an endless stage, like, oh crap, it's been a while since I played it. Infinite Azure. You'll pick maybe that stage, and then you'll just spam movement. Spamming movement, yeah. You just move constantly backwards, sidestepping, poking, and then getting back out. So poking characters were super good at that. Actual players who had insane movement were super good with that because of the fact that the backdash was good. It was decent. It was decent. Decent at best. But yeah, that's basically Tekken 7. They wanted to change it. With Tekken 8, they wanted to keep you closer. That's at least my thought of why the backdash is not as backdashy. it doesn't move back as much. But then, okay, man, I went on a wild rant there. Anyways, let's stick to backdashing or movement. So in Tekken 8, they did all that stuff, sidesteps, backdashing, all that stuff. And the problem that I was trying to address is with the Tekken 7 thing, you could backdash pressure. In Tekken 8, you can't. There's so many strings, there's so many moves that either lock you in so badly that you can't even backdash anymore out of it. They just follow you and track you and everything. But they also have singular moves to characters that are just insane. What's the word again? Oh crap, what is it again? Neutral skips, which essentially are, in the definition of that neutral skipping, you were skipping neutral. So you just press a button, bam, no neutral. You don't have to care about it. You just press the button and you're in. Jin unfortunately got hit with like a neutral skip button, which sounds weird. You'd think, oh, I got a powerful move for my main character. That's gonna be sick. I'm gonna use that. But to me, it just destroys Jin in terms of a character, in terms of what he is. Because in previous games, he had a range issue with jabs. His legs were insane. Everyone knows in the Tekken community he has a forward kick, forward 4. Insane range. That was essentially a neutral skip, if you will. I would say it was basically a neutral skip. He would use it as a control move, a 16th frame punish, or like I said, a neutral skip, but not really, because there is counterplay. Forward 4 is linear. Forward 4, even though it has insane range, can still be backdashed out of. You can sidestep it because of its linearity, all that stuff. The forward 4 is linear. Even though it has insane range, you can still backdash it. There were other moves that did more than that, but it was still an insane move, so insane that it got memed. It's super memed. But yeah, it's not as good as it was back in Season 2, when you had the super easy forward 4 launch. But yeah, back to Tekken 8. Neutral skipping with Jin. He has forward too. He's always had that. But the problem in Tekken 8 that he didn't have in Tekken 7 or any other game with the same move is the fact that heat exists, and the heat dash, and the heat engager. If you don't know what a heat engager is, all the other ones you don't need to care about right now. If you don't know what a heat engager is, a heat engager is basically a certain type of move that when it connects with your opponent, or connects with you if you take the hit, it will automatically go into a interesting cutscene thing, small cutscene thing, which shows you hit the special move, you're going to get rewarded with a free 50/50 for you to apply to your opponent. So you can do whatever the heck you want to do after that hits, because you're super plus, and being plus in any way, shape, or form in Tekken is really good. So that's essentially what a heat engager is. It gives you a free 50-50 to apply. But you would think they would balance it around, okay, you have a heat engager, but you can only access it from a move that has maybe a potentially detrimental weakness. Or maybe they would use it to add character to the characters. Like, let's say, this character here, example character, is someone who absolutely thrives off of whiff punishing. So we're going to make it so one of his whiff punishes, or hers, sorry, one of their whiff punishes is a heat engager. But if you miss it, as in if you get it blocked, you can get punished for it. Maybe it's minus 13 or something. That's what I thought they would do. It's like, there's the risk reward factor there. And it doesn't neutral skip for them. It simply gives them an interesting option that fits with their game plan. Jin does not get that, at least not like that. He does have something like that where it's like, oh, I get to punish you now with this move, which is a heat engager. And it gives me this 50-50 as a reward for knowing that I can punish you with this. But the move that I'm actually talking about is his forward 2, which I did say before, doesn't have this problem in other games. Why? Heat didn't exist. In those games, if forward 2 hit, also known as Demon Paw, they would go flying away from you. And then it would basically essentially reset the situation. It had decent-ish range, pretty good range, which could be extended through his special movement. It would give him a wall splat. It was a very good move, but it was one linear in those games, and it was -9, -8, which made it safe and mid, but it's linear. Technically, you could space it pretty well, so then you could avoid it and then punish. And if it was blocked, it would lose your turn. But in Tekken 8, with the heat mechanic, the heat engager makes it so that if you crouch against Jin, you die, basically. I will 50-50 you to the ends of the earth. Also, if I'm already in heat, I can heat dash you, which means you can block this, but I won't be unsafe. You will. I will have plus frames. Because I said so. That's basically what heat is. It makes his character it destroys his character. Like, he was someone who had a range issue aside from his legs, basically. He would have specific answers to specific things, but he did have easier options. But the easier options wouldn't actually reward you as much. He was someone where you had to learn his specific punishes to punish specific things to get maximum reward. Plus, all these other things. But the main issue was the lack of range, which they fixed in Tekken 8 by reanimating him and then giving him forward 2, which suddenly has insane range and has a heat mechanic tied to it for some reason, and they still haven't taken it out. Instead, they've given it to other characters, and I'm very confused. Why? Why have you done this? Anyways, let's jump off the Jin thing. I'm going to go on that for ages if I keep sticking to that. Tekken 8. I haven't even introduced us to Tekken 8 as a whole and why I don't like it. The fact... Let's see, okay. So Tekken 8, man, the fact I'm starting this history now. Anyways, I was following Tekken 8 through all of its trailers. I managed to get into the closed network test, the second one, not the first one, unfortunately, but I got the second one. The video is up on my YouTube channel, I believe, somewhere. I don't think I have the hours worth of footage that I recorded anymore. Due to technical issues with my computer. But I did play through the closed network test too. It was fun, very interesting, very new. And because it's new, it's always going to be fun, basically. It's a different take on the Tekken formula. It still felt like playing Tekken. that's the thing. It still felt like Tekken. Even though it had heat, it still felt very much like the Tekken I knew and loved. So I looked forward to it. I was hyped. I got a new graphics card because the one I had before couldn't really play Tekken 8 properly on my setup. If you wanted to know, I got off of a 1060 6 gig, which was legendary, still is legendary, and I switched to a 4060, which, price-wise probably wasn't worth it, but it dropped in price, so I got it. Anyways, upgraded my graphics card, upgraded RAM, upgraded stuff that I could in preparation for Tekken 8, which was at the beginning of a year. When was it? Man, I don't even remember how old this game is. Anyways, I was prepared. I got Tekken 8. I pre-ordered Tekken 8. I never pre-order games because of Cyberpunk, but we're not going to talk about that. We usually don't pre-order games over here, but I did for Tekken 8. I did actually pre-order Under Night and Birth 2, which is another fighting game. That one's a good game, absolutely love it, but no one plays it, unfortunately. I mean, people do, but it's not as famous as Street Fighter or Tekken. You should check out that game yourself. Under Night and Birth 2 on Steam, actually great game, but difficult, very difficult game. I'll talk about it in a different episode on this podcast, probably. I need to dedicate an episode to that. Anyways, back to Tekken 8. I got Tekken 8 pre-ordered. I launched it. I played it. It was fun. It was still new to me, and I kept playing. I play over a month, and I'm just like, okay, here's some problems. I have problems with this game now. Devil Jin was definitely a big problem at that time. In the grand scheme of things now, when you look at it now, he probably would be completely fine now. But back then, there was quite a few problems with him. He had the Demon Paw issue as well. He had insane damage. He had some stuff that shouldn't have worked, like that were bugged and stuff like that. He felt like a pretty perfect character, but he still had like execution stuff. But he felt pretty perfect. Not Leroy perfect. That's a different story. I don't think we ever touch on that again. But he felt pretty perfect. There was Dragunov as well. Season 1 Dragunov was frightening. His wall combo was insane. His pressure was insane. He had insane damage. He had perfect grab games. There's so much stuff he had. Brian became a menace. Ugh. Season 1 menace. Season 2 still a menace. They actually pushed him further up. Like, I don't know why you want to do that, but okay. I like Brian, but let's calm it down here. There's King, who is also a menace. In Season 1, he was definitely a problem, but I still think he was okay, to deal with. It felt fair to an extent to actually battle a King. Now, I don't know. I don't know if I can confidently say that. Who else? Oh, well, let's go the other way. Steve. I still am of the side of, they destroyed what Steve is, because Steve originally was a counter-hitting character that had unique pressure to him, unique boxing style pressure with his jab strings and all of that. It was a lot of fake pressure, but he had so many options to go in and out of that it basically became real pressure, in a sense, in your head, as it would be for if you were fighting a boxing match or something. He felt like a boxer thrown into Tekken perfectly. But why? Why did Tekken 8 do what they did to him? His trailer calls him a counter-hitting paragon. I think everyone has talked about that plenty by this point. But they called him a counter-hitting paragon. But what is he in Tekken 8? He isn't. He's freaking all pressure. All pressure with this Lionheart stance. Why? Why have you done this to Steve? Steve was great. In Tekken 7, maybe he was a bit too good, but he still felt like Steve. He had the best rage drive in the game after the launch. I think it was Season 2? Season 2. He got one of the best rage drives in the game. Perfect for pressure and whiff punishment and wall carry and just anything. It was one of the best to just have. And I don't know how they changed that. How did they murder my boy? Steve in Tekken 8 is so not him because it's just full on pressure, the Tekken 8 style. Let's get on to that. Tekken 8 has a pressure problem, which sounds weird out of context, but if you know Tekken, Tekken is not a super pressury in your face type of fighting game. Like, let's say 2D fighting games. Guilty Gear Strive is pretty much in your face pressure. There is footsies, obviously, but I'd say Guilty Gear Strive is very much in your face pressure. Street Fighter is kind of in your face pressure, but that's more like a middle ground. It has footsies, and footsies are pretty good on that. Yes, let me say it like this. It's an anime fighting game style thing. So Blaze Blue kind of has that. Under Night and Birth that I talked about before kind of has that. Is there anything else I can think of? I wouldn't really say Grand Blue Fantasy. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus I don't think would fall under that category that I'm trying to refer to, which is full in-your-face pressure. I think it might. I haven't played it enough, obviously. I have the game, but I haven't played it much. But you get what I mean with that. It's in... Oh, Melty Blood. Oh, that's a good one. Melty Blood is very much in-your-face pressure. Those games where it's about the pressure, and you pressure them so much that you force your opponent to do something that they don't want to. You get damage off of it from whiff punishing or having them counter hit, all that stuff. Tekken isn't that. Tekken is about poking and trying to get a response out of your opponent. Similarly, surprisingly, to say MMA or boxing, kickboxing, where it is a mind game and you're trying to get your opponent to whiff something so badly that you have an opening to do something yourself, get free damage off of their mishap. Tekken 8 isn't that. I mean, you can play it like that, obviously. Like, there'll be plenty of like pro players who still play like that. And it's very much viable, but it's not the same because of the heat system. I have so many problems with the heat system, and I was afraid of this even during the closed network test. Tekken 8 has turned into 50-50 simulator, basically. It's been like that since Season 1, easily the entire time of Season 1. Just 50-50s everywhere because of the heat dashing mechanic, because of the heat engaging mechanic. All of it is tied to heat, but it's also tied to new reactions to moves, I guess. They took away plenty of the knockdown stuff, but now there's a lot of guaranteed stuff instead. So what's the thing here? I can't think of a move right now. I guess a basic example, since I mentioned counter hit 4. It's this high roundhouse kick to the head. If you counter hit that, you get a free plus 13 frames to do anything that is within that. Anything that is 13 frames or quicker, you get it for free as long as it's a mid or low attack, basically. They have a lot of that stuff now, where you hit, you counter hit, or you normal hit in some cases, and you get guaranteed damage. It seems fine on paper, because you think it would take away the 50-50 side of things, but it doesn't. It doesn't really do that. There's some interesting choices in this game. There's some characters that you still get those 50-50s even worse now. And Tekken 7, sure, you would have like a Kazuya 50-50, but that is high risk, high reward. Again, the high risk, high reward stuff, the rewards. There has to be a balance. And Tekken 8, there's basically no balance. Some characters will be heavily in favor of the reward, some will be heavily in favor of the risk without the reward at all. It's so freaking flip-flopped everywhere. It's like, okay, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do with these characters here? Like, oh man, Tekken 8 makes me so pissed off because of their direction and their decisions. Oh my god. All right. I talked a lot about that stuff. Tekken 8, I talked a lot about the heat side of things. I talked about the strings, how they, for some reason, can't be backdashed out of now. A lot of them you can't sidestep. Let's go with that. Homing moves. Homing moves didn't exist before. Tekken 6 didn't have homing moves. Tag 2, I don't think they had homing moves. They had pseudo homing moves, like they would track very good to both sides, or maybe one side, or something like that. A classic example would be Devil Jin's back forward 212 laser cannon. Jin also has it with his evil intent, same input, but it's a little different, so we'll stick with Devil Jin. That move is a pseudo homing in other games because it would track really well. It would attack one side and then attack the other, and it was so hard to get around it. Except for the final hit, because that's straight, that's linear. But you get the idea. It is kind of tracking, but it wasn't designed to be tracking. It just happened to be tracking. In Tekken 7, they decided to add homing moves, moves that were specifically built to track completely. You sidestep left, you're gonna get hit. You sidestep right, you're still gonna get hit. You will get hit by this move, regardless of where you sidestepped or sidewalked. That's basically what homing was. But there were still cases of where the homing move would glitch and bug in an insane way, where your opponent would just not get hit at all. You would just start spinning in circles. Jin had this kind of problem with his what's it called again? His Zen 3, which he doesn't. No, he does have still. He still has that. His Zen 3 was a brand new homing move in Tekken 7. In certain situations, he would freaking mess up and glitch and spin everywhere if he just happened to attack in a certain way. Usually off of ground breaks, and you try to bound. Sometimes you would go through them or under them, and he would try to hit them by spinning completely 180 degrees, and it wouldn't connect. There was other characters. King would occasionally do this with his forward 1, which was also a homing move. You can see homing moves was still kind of brand new. They were trying things, but it was good. It was good. It made the game easier without completely destroying Tekken. It was still Tekken mechanically, but then you go to Tekken 8, where homing moves can now suddenly be heat engages, could now suddenly be the one move that you could just live off of for some reason. It made the game far too simple. All of this is coming back to heat. I didn't even think about this before, but all of my problems with this game is heat. Heat has completely destroyed a lot of what Tekken is, which is... Oh, man, okay. Let's get to the new character. Mariza. Or Mariza. I don't know how to say the name properly. There's a freaking helicopter going off in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's going on. Anyways, Mariza. That's the newest... Well, we don't have her yet. We're gonna get her soon. I don't know, maybe in the next 3 months or something. I don't remember. But... she is the next character that we're going to get that will, I believe, end this season, and then we'll go into season 3. Usually you'd want a bang out of the end of a season because they have gotten used to it, they have understood what to do, and they now have, you know, the resources or whatever. To me, this character, I don't like her. I really, really don't like her. So the gameplay, let's start with that. Her mechanics, gameplay-wise, is not something I like for Tekken, because she is... The one thing that stands out to me is the fact that she jumps on walls. The wall is a stance to her, and she can force that out of her pole, which she has for some reason, but it seems like she only forces it out of heat when she's in heat. She can jump off of her pole, or she could jump off of the wall. It seems like she can jump off of the wall off of a grab for some reason. It seems to be one of the important parts of her plan, her game plan. This has never happened before for Tekken. In Tekken, the wall was usually something there that you could jump off of, and you would have a unique interaction. I believe it's back, down, back, up, or something like that. I can't remember the input anymore because you don't really use this, but it was there for niche situations and it could work. Now suddenly we have Marizo, who has that as her main gimmick, and she has it as a stance. So it's not a singular attack, it is something that gives her plenty of other attacks. The attacks seem to be big problems as well, with super armor breaks, with like insane hits. I can't really explain it much. Haven't really seen her gameplay that much, even though I saw the gameplay trailer, but it's just not for me, you know? This game, a lot of people are saying it's turning into Soul Calibur, and I am coming to the agreement that it is indeed turning into Soul Calibur. I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know. I just really don't like where it's going. I really don't. Why are you doing this? I know Soul Calibur just doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't mean you should turn Tekken into Soul Calibur. Like, I don't... I'm just sad. Tekken makes me sad now because of what Tekken 8 has become. You have Marizo, who has this insanely new mechanic of like jumping off of walls and jumping off of her pole and doing insane moves out of that new stance, which is from the wall or the pole, whatever it is. For some reason, her pole can also allow her to low crush stuff insanely well by simply standing on it, and the moves seem a bit too good. Like, looking at her makes me see what Tekken 8 is going to become. And for me, I'm not looking forward to that. Honestly. Like, Tekken 7, their DLCs or original characters, sure, they had the original character of Leroy, which was catastrophic. Destroyed an entire Evo, almost got beaten by Julia. But they came second place, unfortunately. But yeah, Leroy was a dark era of Tekken 7 for Season 3, I believe. Or was it Season 2? No, it was Season 3. Season 2 was Negan. Negan, as a DLC character, he was fine. Completely fine. Who was it again? Lydia, original character as well. She was cool. A bit broken, but she was cool. I would say she's, instead of being broken, she was more just super strong, because she had everything that you would want in a competitive character. But yeah, different in Tekken 8 though. She fell into the pressure side of things, stance pressure side of things. I'll get back to that. And then there was also Kunimitsu, who was the nightmare of Season 4, because she was all over the competitive scene, far too good for the competitive scene. I remember when she was first released, everyone was saying, oh, she's easily beatable, she's completely fine. And then you go over like a month, and then everyone is hating her. And she created a very bad image for the final season of Tekken 7, for sure. Anyways, was it that I mentioned it before for Tekken 8? Stance pressure. I'm falling into pressure again. Okay. The stance pressure is super bad. It's basically a virus or a pandemic in Tekken 8. You could choose any character in Tekken 8, and they would have stance pressure just built into their game plan. And this is another reason why I don't like Tekken 8. Stance pressure is not what I want from Tekken, because that's just not what Tekken is. I explained it before that it's very much similar to real life fighting in the philosophies and all that stuff. The mind games and how you break down your opponent. Adding stance pressure just makes it an anime game. It just makes it an anime fighter. A 2D anime fighter. Why would you do that? Why? Just why? I do not get the choice. Like, people talk about how it's like it's a competitor to Street Fighter. Obviously, Of course it would be. Japanese fighting game. It would be. But it doesn't mean you have to go more towards that side. It just doesn't work. It's a 3D fighting game. Why do you need stance pressure in a 3D fighting game where it is usually used in 2D fighting games where side steps don't exist? Why would you do it with Tekken? Man, it just makes me so pissed off with it. Like, why would you add stance pressure? You ruined all the characters in the game. You ruined my main character. Unfortunately, Jin was destroyed by the new idea of giving a pressure stance to everyone. Season 2, the big season that everyone hates, and we are currently still in, gave everyone more options to go into stance. Lars got his running 1, running 2, it's one of those things which forces him into one of his stances. Jin gets something new, a running 1+2, a running type thing, from in heat, which puts him into his crouch dashing stance. Okay. I didn't want that. He has full crouch down forward 4, which goes into Zen on hit for some reason. Crouch, like, why? That's a stance there again. You have Anna, who released during that time. She also is stance heavy. You have Lydia, who's stance heavy. You have Huarang, who's stance heavy. But he's fine. He started off as a stance heavy character in Tekken 3. He's fine. Doesn't mean everyone else needs that. Why does everyone else need it? Steve got hit with that. King got hit with that. Armor King got hit with that. Fakumanam got hit with that. Why? Why are you giving every single character in the game the exact same thing to make them all seem like the same character? I don't get it. I don't get Tekken 8. I really don't. And I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm going to end it here. Tekken 8, I have so much to talk about for Tekken 8. I haven't even gone into everything. Maybe the second episode will be about Tekken 8. It probably won't because, I need to take a break. But Tekken 8 has been so disappointing for me, and I just hope it gets better, but I just don't see it happening. Well, that marks the end of this first episode of the podcast. Brand new podcast. I honestly am happy that I finally made it, but we've got a long way to go, obviously. Hopefully this goes on for ages, because I would absolutely love it. But over time, I need to get better, and through your comments, I can. So let me know if you think there's anything I can do better, if there's any way I can refine this podcast. Let me know in the comments, because I'm open ears. I can take anything, and if I can do it, I'll do it. As long as it makes the podcast better. You can find me on YouTube at MrMST as well. Make sure you subscribe there if you like, how I talk here, or if you like the content style of gaming over there. And I'll see you next Tuesday, as these episodes are planned to actually come out on. So, yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday on Frame Perfect Input.